Bison women's basketball gets their first conference win of the year, so they get a split of 2 home games. Head coach Maren Walseth joins us, and first of all, just congratulations on the first conference win. Has to feel good, has to be a positive vibe for the kids to see some success like that.
Thank you. It was a great team win. The night before, we got together and I was like, ladies, I commend you. You have come to work every day and then really worked your tails off. Stick with it. It will pay off. And I meant every word of that. And they came and they competed for 40 minutes here on Saturday, and they were rewarded with the W.
How about Marina Whittle in these 2 games this weekend? 49 points, 32 boards, 33 and 18 on Saturday. Let's talk about her umbrella performance of the entire weekend. Gets her Player of the Week honor.
It did. Congratulations to her for that. Shooting 55% from the field, 67% from the three-point line, and like 85% from the foul line means that she's such a consistent player. There's not one area that she takes off, and also obviously her rebounding as well. So it's been a maturation of her over the course of the year, and I think she's really embraced her role as a senior and as someone who has to do a lot for us. But I think the 6 assists on Saturday was the feather in her hat, because she likes to involve her teams and she likes to make sure that it's a team basketball game, not just a Marina show.
That's cool. Thursday against Western Illinois, let's recap that game. So it's tied at 58 entering the fourth quarter. It was right there for the taking, but they had a good fourth quarter. Western Illinois played well.
They did, and we talked about it. We watched film and we chose to learn from the first 20 possessions or so of that fourth quarter, of things that we could do better and execute better, whether it was setting a screen, using a ball fake, communicating more on defense. And I think that our ladies really learned from that and put it into play on Saturday versus Fort Wayne.
It's worth a tip of the cap, too, on Thursday to Western Illinois. Emily Clemens, just a sophomore point guard, 27 points, 7 assists, 4 boards, 36 minutes and 0 turnovers. Kind of a little water bug. She played well.
She did. She's very small. She's close to the ground. She played very, very well. Not too risky of a player, but just was able to do exactly what her team needed her to do.
And then Saturday against IPFW, I thought you really controlled the game in the second half. You got that lead and you really finished, and that had to be very satisfying.
It was satisfying, and it was a testament to the commitment to the full 40 minutes. I think over the course of our season, most people will say, you probably put about 36, 38 minutes together, but there's always a chunk that the opponent is able to capitalize on, and that's something we've talked about and addressed, and we were able to make that change for the Fort Wayne game.
How about Brooke Yagi, 25, Emily Spear collectively over the 2 games, 22 rebounds. Those 2 really stepped up this weekend.
I was very, very proud of Brooke Yagi. She did not think she was shooting the ball very well, and she didn't think she was very assertive in our Thursday night game against Western. We watched a little film. She spent a little extra time in the gym, and as you saw, it really paid off for her. 12 for 12 from the foul line. She thought she was maybe 10 for 10, and so her eyes lit up when she heard she was 12 for 12.
How about these standings now? Let's look at them. 6-1. There's 3 of those. USD, SDSU, Oral Roberts, IUPUI fought very hard on the 2 games in South Dakota this weekend. They're right there in that top 4. Western's there at 4-3. How do you see this, and do you think maybe now with a win you can go on a little bit of a run here, although there's a gauntlet of 3 road games coming up?
Yeah, I agree with we have our next 3 games are challenging against the 3 top teams in the league. However, we have a bye here, the first game of the weekend. Everybody else has to play 1 more game, so things will shake out a little bit more, and that's exactly where you want to see a little bit more parity as we continue to go and jump into February here. So things will take a turn before we head out on the road for South Dakota on Saturday.
And looking ahead, South Dakota and South Dakota State, you played both of them very tough. The game right here against USD, right down to the wire, went overtime, 2 overtimes. South Dakota State, it was an 18-point difference, but the score really was not indicative. So you were right there in both of those games. That has to give the team confidence.
It gives them confidence, and it gives us small things to improve upon. It's not a list of things. It's here or there, and it's the consistency for a full 40 minutes, which I think we learned versus Fort Wayne. So I'm excited to go into a couple days of practice where it's just about the Bison before we prepare for South Dakota.
Well, best of luck to you this week. I know it's a big game, and all the best to you and the team.
Thank you.
All right, then we'll have the Bison Radio Network fired up from Vermillion this week. Jack Michaels will be with the Bison women this week. We'll recap that game next week for you. Have a good one.